This is the second week of my articulation exercises from my week 1 research. Okay, so last week, definitely a good few slip-ups there, especially on the second one, I believe it was, because of the pronunciation changes. So let's try these 4 again and see how they go. Okay, number 1. He thrusts his fists against the posts and still insists he sees the ghosts. Still a tricky one, but getting there. Let's try a bit faster then. He thrusts his fists against the posts and still insists he sees the ghosts. Yeah, I definitely see why this was put on the article about articulation exercises, because I definitely feel that getting around lots of S's is really tricky, is like a very tricky thing to do. So S articulation is so important because it's so difficult. Okay, let's try it again. He thrusts his fists against the posts and still insists he sees the ghosts. Hey, better than last week, so that's good. Okay, moving on to number 2, which was definitely the most difficult one last week that I did, but let's try it again. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie. Yep, just as tricky as before. It's the changing of pronunciations, because you go from the j's and imagine, imaginary, manager, and then the menagerie. So it's the change of getting around them that's I'm finding the tricky part, but practice makes perfect, am I right? So let's try that again. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie. I'm just glad I came into this already knowing how to say menagerie, so but oh god, this is a tricky one. Okay, let's do it quickly again, just for the fun. Alright. Imagine an imaginary menagerie manager imagining managing an imaginary menagerie. Oh! I got through it! Oh, that's great. Okay, that's great. Oh, I didn't think that was going to happen this week. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so happy with that. Alright, number 3. The red leather, yellow leather one. It's the L's in yellow and leather, trying to get them around so quickly. It's so difficult. Alright, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. See, I keep slipping up as I get to the leather and yellow, because it's just too many L's just trying to get around so quickly. Oh gosh. Alright, let's try again. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Okay, bit better than last week, but still a very tricky one to keep working on. Okay, let's move on to the final one again. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? It's definitely one of those exercises that doesn't feel natural to keep doing over and over again with all the P's. Like, it feels weird, but it's good to try and get around those sounds. So let's try that again. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Tricky, but definitely a good one for working on getting around the sounds. Alright, so another good week. Definitely some improvement there, especially on the second one. So I'll come back in next week for the final video and see how I go and discuss what I found from this.